Hi, you guys. I want to help you out. If you have never used Zoom before, or if you've never scheduled a meeting and you're trying to organize something for a group or one on one with your friends or your organization, here's how you do it. Now, this is going to be if you're on a computer, and I'll do a separate quick one on a phone too, showing how you do it, at least from an iPhone. So first thing, you're going to want to go to Zoom, to the website. It's zoom.us if you are US based. Otherwise, just Google Zoom and you'll be taken to Zoom for your country. And if you've never signed up before or signed in, then go ahead and click sign up. Just register an email. It is free, and then you'll be able to schedule your own meetings. So once you've done that, go ahead and sign in, and you're going to be taken to your meetings page or to your main profile page. It'll show you the information that you registered with. And then over here on meetings is what we're going to navigate to next. So over here on my left-hand side, I've got my menu. And again, it looks a little different on a phone. I'll show you that next. But you've got your meetings here. And so go ahead and click there. If you've got any meetings scheduled, those will be displayed here. However, you probably won't have any scheduled yet, so it might be blank. You've got a couple options with scheduling a meeting on Zoom. So first of all, you've got something called a personal meeting room. That's probably where most of your meetings are going to take place. It just means that it's the same meeting ID. It's going to be the same URL that you send to everybody for your meetings when they want to meet with you. So scheduling things in your personal meeting room, totally fine to do. It just means it's your own kind of unique link on Zoom. So when you want to schedule a meeting, we've got a couple options. We could go into the upcoming meetings where we just were, or we could go up here to the top and hit schedule a meeting. And we're going to get taken to a page that looks like this. You are going to be able to see, give your a topic. So you're going to be able to fill in some basic information for your meeting. Give your meeting a name. If you're going to get together with friends and have a coffee, you could do like me. I call it coffee with las chicas. Give your meeting a name. You can absolutely give it some kind of description. It's going to show up if you send an invitation out to people. Otherwise, just give it a name so that you remember what this meeting was for later when you see it in your list. And then pick your date and your time. And pick the duration. Now, Zoom meetings are not going to cut you off automatically, but it's going to show up to anyone that you invite how long this meeting is supposed to be for. And something really important to mention is that if you're meeting with more than one person and you just have a free Zoom plan, you're going to get cut off at 40 minutes. The longest meeting you can have with a group on a free plan is 40 minutes long. However, if you have a paid plan, then you can go up to 24 hours, and 40 minutes is a really great time. If you're only meeting one-on-one, if it's just you and one other person, that same time restriction doesn't apply. So keep that in mind. If you're scheduling for multiple people, know that it'll cut you off at 40 minutes. If you're scheduling just one-on-one, set it for however long you want it to be and pick your own time zone. And then if you want it to be something that's happening every week, maybe every week that we're sheltering in place here, or you have a class, just click recurring meeting and then set how often. If you want it to happen every day at 8 a.m., then set your time for 8 a.m., set the recurrence for daily. If you want it to happen every week, every Monday at 8:30, for example, then select it to recur weekly. And you've also got monthly and yearly options in there. And then it'll show you, how often do you want it to repeat? Every week, every other week, every day, every other day? Which days is it happening on? And how many times do you want it to go for? Do you want to keep having this meeting go on for the next 7 times, or do you want it just to end at a certain date? Registration, you can decide to make this required, but I wouldn't for most purposes that we're using right now. Unless you're using Zoom for work and you want people to sign up for a meeting ahead of time, then you want to have them register. However, if this is just an open invite to whoever you send it to, go ahead and leave this unchecked. And meeting password, also up to you. If you feel like you're going to share the link publicly and you don't want any random people hopping on, then you can go ahead and set a password and just send it to those that you want on. However, if you're only going to share the link for the meeting with friends, then you can go ahead and uncheck this so that as soon as people click the link, they're let into your meeting, no password required. You're probably using Zoom so that you can communicate with people face to face. So I would start with both videos on so that you can see each other. And that's just going to prompt people to get their video on as soon as they log in. And it's always nice to give people the option of using both audio options here. Zoom is really cool. You can connect with whatever the audio of your device is, so your phone audio or your computer audio, whatever you're connecting on the video as well. But if, for example, someone only has a desktop computer and it doesn't have audio capabilities, it doesn't have a microphone, then they can always use a video on a computer and dial in on a phone. And so that's the telephone audio option there. There is a dial in option. For all these other meeting options, really up to you. You're probably not going to be recording your meetings. I do, because I record all of my classes and meetings with my students. But otherwise, probably not going to be recording these. You can decide, unless you're hosting, again, like a big work or business meeting, you probably don't want people muted. You want them to have their audio on as soon as they sign in so you can talk to each other. So you can leave all of these unchecked, or you can decide if you want your friends to be able to start the meeting before you actually get there, then you can enable join before host. If you just want people to be led into a kind of virtual waiting room before you get there, you can enable the waiting room option. Otherwise, with both of those unchecked, people are just going to be watching saying, we're waiting for the host to start the meeting, and that happens as soon as you log in and start the meeting. Something to know, whoever schedules the meeting is the host of the meeting. So that means the meeting starts when you click the link and start the meeting, and the meeting ends when you leave it and when you close your Zoom window. So if you're just gonna pop in for 10 minutes to talk to your friends, but they wanna be able to talk to each other longer, and you're scheduling the meeting, then go ahead and put their email in here so that they're an alternate host, meaning they have the power to start and stop the meeting. But keep in mind, you can also do this once you're already in the meeting. So if you have scheduled this meeting, you're the host, and then you have to go all of a sudden and your friends don't have to yet, then before you leave, you can reassign a different host. So when you've got your meeting all set up, just hit save. And then when you do go over to your meetings, which is going to be in a separate place, so not where you're scheduling meetings, but where you are looking at your schedule of upcoming meetings, you're going to see that meeting that you just scheduled. This was mine here. You can click into it now to see details. And this is important. Once you've saved your meeting that you've scheduled, you are going to get a join URL. Basically, this is the link you want to send people so that they can join you in your meeting. You can literally just highlight it and copy and paste. Or if you're on a computer too, and you have this option on a phone, I'll show you that in another video, you just hit copy the invitation and it's going to show you the full invitation. You can copy the whole thing with the click of a button, or you can tap. This is honestly the most important part. Again, it's just that URL that people need to be able to click to join you. The URL is always going to be the Zoom address followed by maybe some little letter, but the last digits of the Zoom URL are always going to be the same as the meeting ID for the meeting that you've created. Just something helpful to know. All right. That is how you schedule a Zoom meeting and how you invite people to it. Now, with this meeting invitation, Zoom doesn't have its own inherent email system or anything. You decide when you copy and paste this if you want to put it in a text message, if you want to put it in an email, anything like that. If you do decide to copy and paste the whole email, Zoom includes a couple other helpful links for you here. It'll include a link so that people can add reminders to their calendar. And it'll show people who's inviting them to the meeting, what the topic of the meeting that you chose is, and when it's happening. All right, and then it's got those dial-in numbers so that if someone needs to access the audio by their phone, they can. And that is how you schedule a Zoom meeting. Thanks for watching. I hope you found it helpful. Let me know if I can support you at all. I'm not an expert. I'm not an employee. I'm just someone who uses Zoom a lot, and I'm happy to offer any support that I can. Bye.